And we are back with Glena Avila, cage fighter. And let's talk about Hadley Griffith,
Okay.
Jana Piper. These were some of your, like I think first and second fights,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What were those like, especially being that you were brand new to the sport at that point?
Well, Hadley actually stepped up on 4 days' notice. I was originally supposed to fight Jana as my first fight. And Jana had been in the fight scene for about 9.5 years, had a lot of trouble getting fights, a lot of backouts. She was very well known. And so I trained to fight Jana. I was training to fight Jana. 4 days before the fight, she got injured. So they contacted me and said, hey, will you fight this girl? She's 5'11" and weighs 135 pounds.
Were you familiar with this girl?
No.
No, okay.
So we looked her up and we saw pictures of her holding a championship belt. She was a Muay Thai fighter. And I was like, well, you know, all my friends and family bought tickets, so okay.
Can't let them down.
Right, I'll go. And, you know, everybody said, one kick to the face, she'll break your jaw, you know. And I said, well, you know, if that happens, it happens, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So I went in. I knew that she was a stand-up fighter just from doing my research. And so with her, I shot in wrestling, took her down right away, took mount, and TKO'd her in 1:17. And she was an incredible competitor, clapped for me when it was over. We actually train together now. I root her on, she roots me on. We're good friends. And that's kind of what happened with that. Jana was a little different. When I finally got around to having an opportunity to fight Jana Piper, that was when they turned it into a championship fight. There was a lot of media around it. I wasn't ready for the media. They did a Fox News interview. Everybody knew about it. And again, I was the anticipated loser. Everybody knew who she was, and I was just getting into the game. So I went in there, fought my heart out, and actually won by barely 1 point.
Gosh. Tell me about the Megan Sato fight.
Okay. We had actually trained for a larger wrestler. That's what we were told, that she was a strong wrestler. And I'm a strong wrestler too, but we knew I was quite a bit smaller. So our game plan was to keep it standing, stay on the outside, don't let her get a hold of me, let her get tired because we knew she was cutting a lot of weight, and then take it to the ground. Unfortunately, she had way better stand-up than we had anticipated. She had a very strong clinch. She kept pulling me into it. I took quite a beating, almost got knocked out in the second round, was able to regain my composure. It was just a really, really tough fight. When I came back between the second and third round, my coach was like, you're losing. You better go back to your roots and come in and hard and get her to the ground no matter what. There's no stopping. And I was able to do that due to our conditioning regimen at the gym. I came into the third round pretty fresh. Even after taking the beating, I came in like if nothing had happened and picked her up off her feet, did a nice, you know, wrestling slam, took mount, and was able to TKO her in the third round. So, but
Good.
It was a very tough fight.
Yeah,
you know, hats
yeah.
off to Megan Sato. She's got an incredible clinch.
Yeah, yeah.
Girls,
well,
look out.
What about your family? How do they feel about this? I mean, you mentioned your first or second fight. The gal was potentially going to bust your jaw.
Right.
And your family's there, and you went and did the fight because your family was going to be there.
Right.
So they must be very supportive of this, but at the same time, they've got to be concerned for you.
Sometimes. I do have some family members that are worried. My aunt at my last fight cried her eyes out the whole time. And, you know, at no point was I in danger during that fight, but it was just the high emotion of the whole thing. Majority of them couldn't be more proud. My son actually attends my fights. He's 17 years old, and he's gone to all but one fight, and he gets a kick out of it. He trains also, so he's fully aware of what I do. And my daughter, although she doesn't go to the fights, you know, I usually tell her, hey, I've got a tournament coming up. I can come back with a black eye or something like that, but I'll be okay. And so, you know, I'll come back and she'll know that I'm okay, and then we let her watch the fight on video. And so.
And she enjoys watching it?
Oh yeah, she gets a kick. She's actually turned a couple of her Barbie dolls into MMA Barbies, so it's kind of neat.
I love it. All right, well, let's talk about your training. So
Okay.
what exactly do you do? I understand you drive into Portland and spend at least 3 hours training there, but you're doing training on a daily basis for like 6 weeks before your fight, right?
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
It is a requirement at our gym to do 4 to 5 days. If you're going to sign up for a fight, you got to do 4 to 5 days for at least 6 weeks before the fight. And that's when our coach approves it. And that's because, he errs on the side of caution for us. He's the one that keeps us safe. He's the one that knows exactly what we're getting into. And I will say this for anybody who is even considering getting in a cage and competing, find yourself a good coach that you can trust, because that is key. But I also here at home do a lot of training and working out here. So I'll do things like when I get up in the morning, I'll do my push-ups and my crunches and go do sprints and stuff to keep things going in the morning. And then it's in the evening after work that I head into Portland to do the other stuff.
And you mentioned 2 kids. You
Yes.
work full time and you do this.
Yes.
So that keeps you extremely busy.
Yeah, it is a commitment. It is a huge commitment.
And that's got to be mentally taxing at the same time, just because I would imagine there's a lot of mental, kind of like just really ramping yourself up to be able to go into that cage and fight.
Yes.
Let alone all the things that you're dealing with at home and at work.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, that's the thing, is that I do have those days. I have those days just like everyone else where I just don't want to do it. I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm tired. I want to take a nap. I want to sit on my couch and watch TV like everyone else. But the difference between me and someone who's sitting on the couch is I hold the belts, and that's because I forced myself to do it. I forced myself to go.
Yeah. Take a lot of pride in that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment. Well, we're going to keep talking about it. Glena Avila, cage fighter, is on the show today, so you guys will be right back.